Hello and welcome to Crick Buzz Live. I'm Sayami Kher and the World Cup is finally here. You know, I've been this crazy, obsessed cricket fan ever since I was a child. In 2007, when the T20 World Cup happened, I was at the stadium receiving the team. In 2011, it felt like Dhoni had hit that six to me in the third tier. So from that crazy fan, it just feels surreal to be sitting here at Crick Buzz chatting about the World Cup with the best in the business. And yes, I'm talking about the best in the business. When we start something auspicious, we have to take their blessings. So please welcome our guiding lights, mine, yours, and everyone's favorites, Joy Bhattacharya and Harsha Bhogle. Welcome, gentlemen.
Last time I saw you, you were bowling left-handed.
And my hand came back, but...
Good to see you got your left hand back. Good to see your bowling. Sorry, your right back.
Yes.
No, but seriously, I was laughing when you were saying it because you were talking about this big build-up. I don't know, I can't remember who said it, but he said, we've had such a long build-up. Why don't we start the tournament? And you can understand because the build-up is happening in the home of world cricket. So I'm overjoyed that the tournament has begun. And that having done a warm-up game, done commentary on a warm-up game, I cannot wait for some actual cricket to take place.
And actual cricket without any rain, hopefully, because the warm-up
And with Levin playing against Levin.
Yes.
No, absolutely. The other thing is that this is really the first World Cup tournament in the subcontinent post 87, which is being played in October. Normally it's been March and April. So you have very different pitches in India, you March, April as compared to, October, November. So I'll be very, very interested in seeing how things play up, how the weather plays up. It's getting cooler instead of getting flatter and slower as it happens in the last two World Cups that we've had in the subcontinent. So I'll be really, really interested in see how that goes this time.
He slipped in the different weather also. I hope you know different weather. Can you imagine the Indian team went all the way to Guwahati, then took a flight Guwahati to Thiruvananthapuram and didn't bowl a ball. And then I saw Australia play Pakistan and I thought not bowling a ball in a warm-up game was actually a pretty favourable result.
Yeah, because it was almost like it was a nice long holiday and back.
Yes.
But they'd like to do it at home. But well, they had to go to Guwahati and come back. But Joy and Harsha, you all have been following cricket for the longest time. You've, I think, 9-10 World Cups you've covered? If I'm not wrong.
Me and the World Cup don't have the friendliest relationship. So I missed out on 87.
Just 87.
So I started some role or the other from 92. So 92, 96, 99, 3, 7, 11, 15, 19. Ninth.
9 World Cups.
Ninth, this one will be.
Wow, 9 World Cups.
I worked on 99, I worked on 2003 and I've taken a couple of breaks, but yeah, mostly the World Cups.
And 2007 didn't allow us time to work on it.
2000 time finished before we came.
You were in Singapore. Yes. I was hosting out of Singapore.
No, but for me, the World Cup, as a child, I remember like the 2003 World Cup or the 99 World Cups, my first memory of a World Cup. There was just so much hype around the World Cup. Like I had like chart papers made and like all my heroes on posters on their wall. There's always this hype around the ODI World Cup. Do you all think that has diminished? There's been a lot of discussion and debate about how ODI cricket has been dwindling. The interest has been dwindling in ODI cricket. So the ratio between T20 cricket and ODI cricket, we see we're playing more T20 cricket over ODI cricket. Do you all think that this is a very important World Cup just for the survival of ODI cricket?
The T20 to ODI ratio is telling a story in itself. We're playing more T20 cricket. It's only highlighting what we already know. If this World Cup was in the West Indies or even South Africa, dare I say even England. In England, with the football season having started, with the Rugby World Cup happening, of course, it would have been played a little earlier if it was in England, I would have been worried. So the fact that it is being played in India with all the enthusiasm and the drama, people getting worked up about not getting tickets, might not give you the true picture of the health of one-day cricket. But there is definitely a question mark over the future of this format. I was reading some numbers that the 4 countries that made the semi-final in 2019 played on an average 68 one-day internationals in the build-up to the 2019. In the build-up to 2027, they're going to play 24 of 25 or something.
And I don't think India's most of them in 23.
Yeah.
Most of them.
When does India play a one-day international after this?
Yeah.
In South Africa, I think they play a couple. I don't know if they play any after that. So yeah, it's going to be a challenge for the format, which will sadden me a little bit Because if you look at 50 overs cricket as long form 20 overs cricket, which a lot of people do, then you take one of the dimensions away from it, the dimension of being able to build an innings, which allows the Kohlis, the Williamsons, the Roots to become very good players. I mean, Roots' record in recent times hasn't been great, but it allows those kind of players to become great white ball players.
But Joy, just, what is it about, there should be this hype around 4 years and then this is the World Cup to look forward to, which kind of has just gone because we had two T20 World Cups because of COVID, but it's just that constant World Cups is kind of taking away the hype.
Yeah, very simple thing. I mean, you look at a football World Cup, and if you told yourself that every 2 years there's a mini football World Cup and then there's another football World Cup, it just doesn't work. So I think that is the one thing. There is too much cricket on. And I think Harsha has made a beautiful point that this whole business of long form, even in journalism, you have certain publications which have really good long form articles, 10,000 words, 15,000 words. They're not your average 1,500 words. But there is a place for that. The question you have to ask yourself is that place on the top of the heap as it used to be, or is it not there anymore? And you have to say that in that sense, the ODI World Cup is a bit of a relic. Because, see, I'll tell you, forget everything else. The best way to judge popularity is follow the money. Okay? If you follow the money, right now, a test match, originally about 4 years back, it used to be a test match. You get the same amount of money for an ODI. They'd bid the same amount, and the same for a T20. Now that ratio is about 1.7, 1.8 is to 1. That means the number of the money being given for a 40 over game is actually more than 1.5 times the money being paid for a 100 over game. And that tells you where sponsors are going, and sponsors follow people who watch. So finally, those are the answers you're getting.
So Harsha, you think there's that extra pressure on this World Cup? We need close games, we need some big knocks, extra pressure on this particular World Cup.
We need the 50-over World Cup to tell its followers the king is still around. Because you're absolutely right, it was the pinnacle of achievement. They've tried a World Test Championship. I don't think the World Test Championship is anywhere near a 50-over World Cup champion because it's got a history. It's been around since 75. But I hope people see this World Cup that way and look forward to 27.
Well, all right, we've got news from the centre. New Zealand has won the toss and they'll be bowling first. But just a little more from the discussion we were talking about, if there's one team that has to rejuvenate what ODI cricket, what can be ODI cricket, this is just England, because they play this brand of cricket which is so exciting. Like the Ashes, we've seen the turnout, we've seen what they do with Test cricket. So I feel if there is one team who can change things, it's England. And well, England's team and that batting that they have is just never ending. I think they bat till number 11 if you consider Adil Rashid at 11. So they've just got a...
Because Mark Wood bats, Adil Rashid bats.
I think Adil has a first-class century.
Sam Curran bats at 8. So I don't think Reece Topley would be playing today. So he's the only one there. I don't know much about Gus Atkinson. But the side that will take the field today, almost everybody will bat. And because of that, they keep batting a certain way. And for my money, they are the most thrilling side of this World Cup. Maybe even the favourites, if they can get their bowling together. My gut feel is that in the second half of the tournament, they will have 2 fast bowlers, not 1. But that's a separate story. So they need Mark Wood. They need the bowlers to deliver, but the batting is in safe hands.
Joy, they've gone ahead with the core of their 2019 World Cup. And, there have been only 2 teams that have defended a World Cup title. So, England clearly looking like, they are a solid team, but can they defend the title?
See, there's a lot. One of the things is that if you're playing the subcontinent, they have one frontline spinner, Adil Rashid, and they have 3 other spinners. So, batting, definitely they have the ability to do it. If the ball does a bit, as Harsha was saying, that if the ball does a bit, if Vokes gets into it, if Ben Stokes gives them a few consistent overs, because Ben Stokes has this amazing ability to be a wicket taker. And then you start looking at it, and then you see how the tournaments start getting set up, And if you look at it, 2019 starts off with Ben Stokes, first match they played, Ben Stokes played, goes and gets runs, gets a couple of wickets. So he sets up tournaments for them. And I think that is the one thing, the talisman that they'll be looking for.
But the fact that he's not playing today might be a factor. But I don't think he's going to bowl in the tournament.
Yeah, Ben Stokes actually has said he's not going to bowl, and that also confused me because you'll at least leave your opponent thinking that he might come in, might not come in, but to go ahead and say I'm not going to bowl
I think
takes away the suspense.
anybody who sees Ben Stokes' scans will know that he's not going to bowl, whether it's hip or knee or ankle or whatever. I just think he puts too much into it. I think Michael Vaughan might have said it here, that he doesn't know anything other than top gear.
Yes.
So he just keeps giving everything. So in the absence of Stokes, now their combination with the ball is Moeen and Livingston. Between them have to be 10 overs bowlers. But the Currans and the Willies, if Willie plays, or the Chris Wokes, will all have to be 10 over banks.
So let's just have a look at the playing 11. We'll have a look at England's playing 11. They're batting first. No Stokes. But yes, there is Chris Wokes, there's Sam Curran, Mark Wood and Adil Rashid. There is Adil Rashid and Moeen Ali. Surprised there, Harsha?
No, I'm not. I'm not, because in the way that team is structured in India, Moeen Ali is always going to play. I think he's going to be seen as a 5-6 over bowler, occasionally 10 overs. But his batting, the sheer fact that he's won IPL titles and a lot of them he's contributed handsomely with the bat, makes him an invaluable player in this England side. They have Chris Wokes down at 9. He'd be 7 in most teams. Most teams, Chris Wokes is batting 7. So he's 9. Adil Rashid is 11. You won't go that far because Mark Wood, if they're going till Adil Rashid, they're probably in trouble anyway. The interesting thing is, what if Harry Brook goes and gets runs now? And
where does Stokes come in?
Yeah.
For who? Yes.
No, that's a wonderful problem to have, and they have it. And they're also the kind of team who, they're the kind of what Australia was in their prime. That, you'd have somebody dropping out, Mark Watt dropping out, and you had Brad Hodge coming in, scoring a double century and then sitting out the next match. Teams in their pomp do it. And I think England is that secure about what they do. I think it's their batting they're secure in. It's their bowling that they really need to look at and wonder, is it going to deliver for us? But they have one thing which is very interesting. If you look at it, we've been talking about this since the 50 over format, that now the 50 over format, the big battle is in that 10 overs 11 to 40.
The middle.
Because that middle is dangerous for people. What you'll see a lot of, I think, in this tournament is you'll see Mark Wood not taking the ball up front. So Wokes and Curran taking the ball up front. But in the middle, then you have Wood and Rashid. And that, I think, that's really two attacking options in overs 11 to 40. And I think that's something that a lot of teams don't have, where a lot of teams have really good bowlers up front and may not, but they have maybe one decent bowler out here. If Wokes and Rashid can give them what they are capable of, then you have, Wood and Rashid, then you have very strong attacking options.
Every team needs that extra pace bowler or wrist spinner in those middle overs. Look at the New Zealand team. They've done something very interesting, or I think they've been forced to do something very interesting, because I've long held the view, for a tournament as big as this, you cannot have a squad of 15. So now Tim Southee was available, but he's got, I think, 5 pins in his right thumb. So their only other option is Lockie Ferguson. Lockie Ferguson's got a niggle, which is one of the most popularly used words these days. So now look at their bowling. Trent Bolt, Matt Henry, they've left out Ish Sodhi. So what is their bowling now? Trent Bolt, Matt Henry, start searching. Mitch Santner, your third bowler, keep searching. You come to Jimmy Neesham, 3, 4, 5 overs, maybe
Then
keep
Darren
searching.
Mitchell comes in.
Ravindra has to bowl.
Glenn Phillips, Rachin Ravindra. So what they've done is they've taken the spin of Rachin Ravindra and added his batting and said, we actually may not need Santner. And they've bulked up their batting. This is a side that has been picked to chase whatever England score. My fear with this side is England might score too many to chase.
Do you think this is a sign, because New Zealand is known to be trendsetters? We've seen it in 92 as well. So they've just thrown this surprise. I don't think anyone was expecting this, because we did a preview with DK and Zach. No one was really expecting this kind of a 11.
So part of it has been dictated by the fact that Saudi is not there. But that's what New Zealand does so well. You absolutely love. And the best part of it is, who was there in 1992? There was a certain Tom Latham who was used as Rod Latham, who was used as a bowler as well. So you're talking, he was a part of that original dibbly-dobbly with,
Gavin Larson, Rod Latham, Chris Harris.
Yeah. So they were the original dibbly-dobblies, and Deepak Patel bowling, they changed the game. And you're absolutely right. It's fascinating to see a team like this, because it's like saying, you look at that team, you look at the bowling lineup, and you say, okay, who's bowling overs 1 to 10? Who's bowling 11 to 40? Nobody has the faintest clue.
So Bolt and Henry are going to bowl up front.
Yeah.
And then,
5 each. Then,
because remember, middle overs, you only got 4 outside.
Yeah.
Till 40, you only got 4 outside. So the spinners have to bowl well. And both captains are saying it's such a good track, it doesn't matter, we both wanted to bat second. So I won't be surprised in this World Cup if there is no dew, if teams will start batting first, putting up big scores and starting to defend them rather than blindly chasing.
But Harsha, just like you said, the middle overs which Joy is talking about is where they have an Adil Rashid and Vokes, which will be their strength for England.
Wood, yeah.
Wood and Adil Rashid. Do you think that's going to be a little bit of a problem for New Zealand? Because like you said, we are searching for who are going to be the wicket-taking bowlers there.
you're searching for who are going to be the bowlers there. Because Glenn Phillips, 3 kar diya.
You're
looking at, okay,
there.
2 more bowlers. Okay, 2 more overs from him. Okay, how many have we finished? They will be looking at how much they have left to cover rather than the other way around.
Because England will go hard. If England max that power play, then it's going to be a very difficult team to captain. Because if the captain is searching for a bowler in the 16th, 17th, 18th over, then they're already in trouble. So they need a really good power play and they need the spinners to bowl well, which is Rachin Ravindra, Tim Southee, similar bowlers. Let's look at England and let's see who they've got to counter those. No Stokes today.
No Stokes.
No Stokes today, so that's one left-hander gone from the side. They've got Malan and then no left-hander till Moeen Ali, Sam Curran. I won't be surprised if Moeen plays as a floater in the middle order.
Yeah, exactly. They'll float him.
Very interesting. But, there's something which I'm a big fan of New Zealand because they have all the nice guys in New Zealand. So I just feel that, we constantly talk about New Zealand being the dark horse, which I feel is a little unfair because the last 4 World Cups, they have been semi-finalists and then runners-up. So they are like a leading horse. They're not a dark horse at all. Joy, you think it's...
No, it's just that 4 million people and about 10 million sheep contrive together to throw a cricket team that does stuff. And the truth of it is, again, we're discussing the ODI rankings. What are they right now? Currently 6th, I think, Harsha.
Yeah, they haven't had a great time recently. But New Zealand in the World Cup,
they sort of cobble it together, put it together.
The only thing I will say about this is look at the 2015 World Cup and the 2019 World Cup. 2015 was played in New Zealand most of the time. 2019 was played in the country that most resembles New Zealand from their point of view, which is England. So this will be, I think, a bit of a challenge. Having said that, 2011 they made the semi-final.
Yeah.
So the other expression we use for them is punching above their weight, which is also, I think, now unfair to... they made the World Test Championship final as well. So, except that in this tournament, with the side that they have, I had them as 6th seed.
Yeah, I know your preview, you said South Africa much more than New Zealand, but I feel like a Tom Latham also made a statement where he said that, we are always under the radar. We play a brand of cricket which people don't expect us
Maybe they like it like that. I don't know. Maybe they just like it like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, if they win today, this World Cup is off to some start.
Yes.
Yeah.
But does it reduce the pressure? You think, like students will say we are not prepared. They put on a pretense of we're not ready for an exam.
They've always done that.
Yeah.
They do a great job of it. Their media does a great job of it. And remember, all their captains, like after Martin Crowe in 92, are all these nice guys who amble up in their world with Stephen Fleming, Kane Williamson. All of them, you literally want to pat on the head and say, good boy, don't be upset. But that's what they are. But they're tough as hard as nails when they play. They're very, very tough competitors. And they find ways to, make people play and just, not punch above their weight, play above their abilities. I mean, somebody like a Glenn Phillips, and they know that this is not a World Cup. Trent Bolt may give them something up front, but fast bowlers, medium pacers are not going to win you this tournament.
Yeah, but look, they've still got players. They've got Devon Conway, Tom Latham. Conway is in fantastic form.
And
Latham,
Conway, they love playing in India.
And at some point,
always plays
Williamson
well.
will come back at some point.
Yes.
But what I like about New Zealand is they're not moaners. They don't have Kane Williamson. Have you ever heard them moaning, saying, oh, but we don't have Kane Williamson? No, we don't have Kane Williamson. Right, we don't have Kane Williamson. Right, what do we have now? Let's move on. Okay, let's push Rachin Ravindra to number 3 in Williams' place. Let's use his overs. Let's put extra responsibility on Latham. Let's pack the batting. They're always thinking, okay, so this is what we have. What can we do now? Which is a wonderful way to live life and to play cricket.
Harsha, like you're talking about how they don't moan at all. I feel that New Zealand is a team that comes together during a World Cup. I feel with England, Joss the boss is somebody I really want to talk about because, we have
Joss
one
the
head,
boss, okay.
one
Joss the
head
boss.
of a family and at Cricket Buzz is of course Mr. Harsha Bogle.
I love it.
We look up to him.
I love it.
Where'd that come from?
You know, we look
Bhishma
up to you.
Pitama.
You're like the boss of the Crick Buzz
What
family.
happened to this kindly, respectable actress who was sitting in our studio?
But it's with all respect.
It's true.
It's all respect. We look up. Doesn't everyone look up to Harsha Bhogle? It's all the
Is the
respect and
producer
admiration.
saying you've been kind to me, so sledge him gently?
It's the admiration we have for you, and it's the admiration Team England has for Butler, because he's that guy who just has everything under control, like you do. We have to go to you for stats, go to you for anything. There's Harsha Bhogle who has the answers. But just look at these numbers. A strike rate of 115. He's averaging at almost 60.
That's ridiculous.
And he's somebody, Joy, who's managed to crack that code, you know, of playing consistent ODI cricket in the T20 format.
No, exactly. I mean, normally you just look at the top ODI cricketers, you know, and Virat is one of the greatest. And you'll see late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s is where they score at. And if they get a century or something, they'll just about cross the, you know, that strike rate of 100. But this 115 for the numbers that he has and the average that he has, it's just disproportionate. It's absolutely disproportionate. He's a freak of a cricketer. And to be able to do it over a fairly consistent length of time, 3-4 years he's been in this kind of form, is absolutely unimaginable.
I was afraid you're going to call him Joyce the Boy or something. After Jaws the Boss and all those gentle sledges. But he is the king in that lineup. So just imagine a situation now where you've got Bairstow, Root, and now today Harry Brook. Malan will play the way he does. I like Malan for many reasons. And now you've got about 25 overs left, 20 overs left. See the firepower that is coming in. Butler is leading the firepower. They've got Butler, Moeen Ali, Livingston, Sam Curran. So they've got 4 who can keep batting like that. But Butler's the king of that, because I don't think Butler's just a slogger. I think towards the end of his career, Moeen sometimes resembles a slogger, which is a better player than that. But Butler is the... I mean, can you... Butler's batting in the last 8-9 overs. Can you estimate how much they'll get?
But Butler's also gone and said that, you know, we are not taking on any pressure of being the reigning champions. So we are going into this World Cup as it's just a new tournament and we are here to play it fresh, not taking the pressure of what happened in 2019 being the... So how much of a difference does that make?
I mean, 2019 they won because one umpire didn't realize one overthrow and one bat. No. But the best team won. I think it's fair to say that in 2019,
Clearly, I know where his sympathies lie.
eventually the best team won the tournament. Whatever, how they won it was a different story. I still think they come into this tournament as the best team. I think they know they're the best team in this tournament. And the Aussies, for example, over the years were very good at playing front runners, very good at looking you in the eye and saying, we are better than you. Yeah. I don't know if England is that kind of team. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Today is a good test, actually. New Zealand is a good game to have up front. Yeah, I mean, say tomorrow Pakistan play Netherlands. It's a little warm up with no disrespect to Netherlands. But England, New Zealand, I'll tell you, New Zealand put up a good show here. What a game it will be.
Well, what a game it will be, and there's one person who can make a big difference in the opening overs, in the power play overs, and that's Trent Bolt. Because he's somebody who's been phenomenal, Joy. He's been someone who, since his debut, there's no one who's gotten more wickets in the power play like Trent Bolt has. So he's that kryptonite to the Superman, if you can say, because he's someone who makes the big difference for New Zealand.
Absolutely, and this is true of his T20 record, his IPL record, his ODI record, his ability. I mean, they say, of course, again, we go back to that cliche of left-handers whose ability to sort of bring it back in the beginning. But he's a lot more than just a left-hander who can bring it back. He uses, his angles are very different. They're much more subtle. His ability to be able to shape a way is very good. What he gives you, and what you're also seeing is perhaps the last of the class of 2008. Again, he, Saudi, Virat Kohli, they belong to that class of 2008, now 15 years. They're just about, for a fast bowler, you're beginning to say that, you know, he may not see him win another World Cup. So he is very crucial to them, because if the pitches in India play, and they're supposed to be, most of these are supposed to be flat decks, the only time you're going to get movement is in those first 3-4 overs. He doesn't give them wickets up front. And with the bowling attack that they seem to be having, even in this match and even going forward, even if Saudi returns, it's not the scariest bowling attack, let's face it. He's really crucial to them.
I'm just looking at something that has piqued my curiosity. Where are we? I'm looking at the scorecard of England versus South Africa, first game of the 2019 World Cup. What happened on the first ball? Didn't Bairstow get out on the very first ball? of the 2019 World Cup? They had a spinner bowling, didn't they?
Imran Tahir bowling.
Imran Tahir. Yes, Tahir got a wicket in the first
Who's
ball.
going to play the first ball of this World Cup? What are the
Johnny
odds?
West.
What are the odds that someone gets out?
You're putting on pressure. You are putting on pressure. You're right. It was Imran Tahir who took that.
And a lot of pressure also, maybe not a spinner right now, but if we can just get the graphics team to show us that graphic again. I saw there was Bolt and then there was even Matt Henry somewhere there.
Yeah.
He was at number 4. So the power play, Harsha, is going to be crucial to New Zealand because we've seen what we spoke about what Trent Bolt does. But there's also Matt Henry. So them together, early wickets in the power play is something which New Zealand
And
will
that's a
want.
strength.
Yes.
That's a strength. You know, it's funny, Matt Henry comes around World Cups.
Yeah, again.
And Matt Henry is a name we Indians don't want to know anything about. That second day after it rained on the first day, the second day Matt Henry comes and picks up wickets. But Matt Henry's got a 7-for as well. And when the ball is swinging around, and he's now not just a swing bowler. Dooley keeps sitting on this chair and tells her all the time, he's not just a swing bowler anymore. So Matt Henry and Trent Bolt is actually a very good partnership, but they've also got to keep their overs for the death because they don't have anyone else for the death. But sorry, before allow me to change a little.
No, you're the head of the family. You're allowed to do.
Second ball.
Roy took a single first ball. It was his first ball.
Oh.
So maybe they should ask Malan to take strike and take a single first ball. Anyway, no, but just coming back, Matt Henry has bowled very well recently. He's gone and played in England. He's bowled well over there too. So he's a good cricketer. And if you need 20 of 10 balls at the end, he can still get you those. So very good cricketer. But how Latham uses Bolt and Henry is something that you have to wait and see. I think big responsibility on Santner.
But you know, something again Bolt said, which he said he decided not to play any bilaterals and the whole central contract that he got out of. He said he wants to spend time with his family and give opportunities to younger people. But he's back in the World Cup. Everyone wants it for New Zealand, but it's almost like, where are the younger people? You know, he wanted opportunities to go to the younger
Oh, yeah, the World Cup level. He's going to give them chances elsewhere. They'll call him back. Whether he wants to be back or not, he's just too vital a bowler. And till he's playing at the top of his form, he's just something different.
But he's another of this big list of players who are playing the last World Cup.
Yeah.
That's the other issue for the next World Cup. There's so many big names playing their last World Cup. I suspect Trent Bolt is among them. What fun then to retire as the leading wicket taker.
Rohit, maybe.
Yeah, there are a whole long list of names that we'll wait and watch on that.
I have one other question to ask. How big are the boundaries set for Ahmedabad?
I mean, it's a big stadium. I only hope they push it back. The other day, we were in Rajkot, and they just brought the boundaries in so much. My theory is, if you have space, then utilize the space. If the boundary is 80 meters, excellent. Use the space. But increasingly, they keep bringing it in. And so fine leg becomes 54, 55 meters, irrespective of where you play.
Because this New
Hardly
Zealand
ever
bowling
goes over
attack
70.
and these New Zealand spinners, if the boundaries are bought in too much, they could be carnage.
I mean, you could see Moeen Ali and suppose two left-armers are bowling. Moeen Ali comes in, Sam Curran comes in. That is the greatness about that England team. The great quality is anyone can bat anywhere. Livingston can come and bat right at the end. Or they might, like Warner, suddenly change hands and bat.
Well, Joyda, this question we had answers to. What is the boundary for today's stadium? But there are questions that you ask we have no answers to. So we are going to take the joy factor question of the day because we never have answers to this. But everyone who watches Crick Buzz Live has answers to it. I'm going to.
I don't know how, but they do. I really don't know how. Okay, this one's a nice. Okay, which cricketer who featured in the 2018 Under-19 World Cup was named after two Indian cricket legends?
Okay. Why look at me?
No, for the first time. This is not the first, this is the second time. But I don't want to give the cue, so I'm not going to.
You know the answer.
know the
She knows the answer.
Because it's very close to some hero.
So if you name somebody after an Indian cricketer,
Very close to some hero. Now this list of heroes, how big is that list?
I know the list is.
I thought that list only had one name in it.
I was just trying to conceal.
Yeah, she's doing her best
Trying to conceal.
Of course, we all know that her hero is
Roger
Sandeep
Federer.
Patel.
Sandeep sir, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why not Salim Durrani?
Salim Durrani.
No, I have
Why not
so many
Ranjit
heroes.
Singh?
So many heroes.
You're now trying to muddy the waters.
Here's something interesting. The stands are still empty as the players walk out for the anthem. We talked about the future of 50 overs cricket. Is this going to be a World Cup where India plays, or is this going to be a World Cup where the world plays?
It's very
Because
disappointing.
England versus
Very
New Zealand, I mean, if you got 120,000 seat a stadium,
No, but it's
if
the
you get-
opener of the World Cup.
you
in
get
India.
30,000, it
Also,
looks empty.
Apparently, it's sold out.
Yeah, so where are the tickets?
England,
Because
New
it's
Zealand.
sold out.
Yeah, apparently.
Okay.
Yes.
It was very, very brisk sales.
Mystery of the vanishing tickets. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean,
Or they've caught in the traffic in Ahmedabad and from the business district and making their way.
Yeah,
Trevor
the
Nova has
expression
spoken a
on
lot
Cricket
about the traffic in our country, which we shouldn't get to.
The other expression here that on Crickbuzz is a sprinkling of spectators. Okay.
Well, we are here at Crickbuzz Live enjoying, I'm enjoying discussing the World Cup opener. I don't know where the fans are, but I hope they fill up the stadiums because it's no fun otherwise. Let's quickly have a look at both the teams before we say bye to you all. Let's have a look at England and New Zealand's playing 11. England first if we can. Any expectations with regards to moving around the playing order you feel, or they're going to go ahead?
It'll be completely, after the top 3 or 4, it'll be completely flexible. Anybody will bat anywhere depending on who's bowling, especially since the kind of bowlers New Zealand have. I won't be surprised if that batting order changes, and I won't be surprised. We'll get to know the surface very quickly. I won't be surprised if they hit 380, 400.
Oh, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Okay. But let's have a look at New Zealand's playing 11. And again, Joy, anything which you feel is going to be this team is a surprise in itself today. But
Yeah, this is the return of the Dibbly Dobblies. The return of the Dibbly Dobblies. Neesham will come, bowl a little bit.
But they've got batting so deep, no? Even
Yeah.
Santner batting at 9.
And Santner is a proper.
Yeah,
I mean, CSK considered him as opener.
Yeah.
all right, so you said 385, 400, but is that going to be
don't-
your
I'm-
prediction game? Because we have to take it very seriously here, as you know. You go, head of the family goes first. With admiration and
In
respect.
traditional Indian family, the patriarch maintains a stoic silence. Okay, I'm actually, I don't know, I'm searching for the pitch report, but pitch report we don't always know. I'm going 385.
Okay, 385.
First match, I'm just going a bit conservative. 350.
350 and conservative. Ah,
Oh. Well,
come
I've
on,
got
young
a little,
upstart.
I've
Come
got
on,
a
young
little, I've got
Revenge.
I've got a little information that there's a 6 on the second ball. So I will, but 385, okay, 385, 350. I will go with
212.
370.
Okay.
That's a cop out. Okay, I have a question for you. With the 6, is strength bowling?
Bowl to best or
Yes,
6 to
trend bowl.
backward square leg.
Trend bowl bowls.
So basically, it's just got one that swung around leg
a
stump,
bit
I
too much,
suspect, and he's played that pickup shot over square leg.
Okay, we don't have to sit predicting what's happening here. We can go and watch the match because now our prediction game is done. So now the World Cup has finally begun because like I said, we take it very seriously here. For all those who miss any proceedings, don't worry. You all will be seeing us at the 15 over point of the Crickbuzz Combox. So we will see you very soon. Goodbye.